Yes, more racing in the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series today. Four-wheeled ATVs. It's the X Factor Whitetails from Peru, Indiana. And we've got people parked on the road instead of in the grass to try to preserve this place because it is pretty muddy today. And we had some slop to deal with at our last race in South Carolina. Let's give you the AMSOIL race recap of that one. Luckily, the terrain there pretty sandy, so it holds up to rain better than most. Walker Fowler, no surprise, really had his starts dialed last couple of years. Your defending series champ on ATVs starting to get away. Bryson Neal into the number 2 position in chase mode early. And here comes the rest of the cavalry, usual suspects who are often nipping at Fowler's heels. You got Chris Borich, Jared McClure, and Cole Richardson right there. With such good soil, pace was very high, everyone pushing it hard. And we've raced here about 3 years now, so riders have figured out some different lines through the woods, either to save energy by missing the bumps, or maybe to make passes later in the race. Keep that in mind. You see Borich is at the back of that group, but he would work his way up to second and then pressure his old rival, Fowler. These two riders representing the last 11 championships in this sport, 6 in a row for Borich and the last 5 for Fowler. And Borich still got some stuff on his game and on the gas, keeping the pressure on Fowler the whole way. Then, Borich Bandit stealing the lead. Looked like it was all going well until late in the race when his machine started cutting out, and Fowler was still in position to try to get around. Certainly, the veteran Borich didn't want to let a win slip away late. There you see some of the problems with the machine slowing down, and then it's just hope and pray that it refires before Fowler gets there. Luckily, the Suzuki came back to life. Borich picked it back up, and the fans were pumped. These are people that grew up watching Chris Borich win so many races. Always fun to see him get back into victory lane again. There's actually Fowler's mom cheering him across the line, and some congrats from Walker, although some sharp words from Borich on the podium after the win.
Heck yeah, it's about time. We've been working so hard, and man, it feels good. We had kind of a scare there, probably good mile before the finish. The bike just started cutting in and out. I don't know what it was, not low on fuel because we did a two pit stop, but scared me, shut off literally right before the finish. Turned the key off, turned it back on, and started up and popped and carried on the whole way in. And I think just everything motivated me. I know Walker's fast. I just don't like the cockiness. I've never been that way. I mean, I won a lot of races, and I've never been arrogant, cocky, and I just think he's a little too cocky for it. But hey, he can be. He's the champ for a reason right now, and he's rolling. So, just a couple keywords. Tame it down just a smidge.
Well, that's interesting. I actually asked Fowler about that. He says he doesn't know what Borich is referring to. So we'll carry it on to this next race. There's Rocky Mountain ATV MC results. Jared McClure get on the podium at that last one. So now we're going to go racing. They got the full mud set up, although I don't know, with some sunshine out now, it could tack up and dry up by the end of this 2-hour race. Bumper cars into the first turn. Fowler, another great start. He has been lightning quick off the line the last couple of years, and he has won titles in plenty of races without good starts, but he's figured it out. The Weisco Holshot Award goes to him, and you got to love this run through the field. It's very reminiscent of the other Indiana race we have in this championship, the very venerable Ironman GNCC. You can see still a lot of standing water and mud on this track, but beautiful weather now. And a lot of times the riders will tell you they almost wish it would keep raining at times, because if it keeps drying out, that mud, it gets very sticky, very heavy, and that's not a fun condition to ride in. But they have enough traction to get up these hills now, so that's not a problem. This is really going to push these machines to the test. Lugging around in these tough conditions. That was Devin Feehan there in the 406, finding a nice alternate line, cutting across those ruts. I'm just going to be frank, not going to be easy to tell who's who today, as these machines are already covered. I believe that's Hunter Hart right there, hanging right at the top of the hill in the orange gear. Talked to Hart. He's been a little frustrated. Been riding by himself. Oh, look at this. Cody Collier stuck in that rut at the top of the hill. Now you get an idea why a lot of people are trying to go across them. And this is only lap 1, folks. Back to the starting line, XC2 Pro-Am. This is the up-and-coming talent out of this sport. That's actually the championship division for Hunter Hart last year, now that he's moved up, bumping and banging around. John Glauda Jr. on the Waynesburg Yamaha Pierce Performance machine has been the rider to beat as of late in this division, but it's Drew Landers getting the hole shot, the All Balls Hole Shot Award. And it's cool to have this live drone here to follow the riders through. Now, normally you'd see them trying to make passes. I think right now they're just trying to stay clean. Oh, but still bumping and banging around when you get those ruts, and there's nowhere else to go. It becomes slot car racing. Well, look at that. Collier is still stuck. Landers in the 17 now has made a move on one XC1 front row rider. And this has already ground to a halt in these ruts. That was the good line, what, 15, 20 riders ago? And now that one's already gone. A little more experimentation here. That's the easy line. This is going to be a long day for all the GNCC racing guys, but that's what makes them what they are. They're as tough as they come. We'll be right back.
GNCC on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Peru, Indiana, the host site. This is a sportsman reserve, a hunting ranch, opening its doors for Grand National cross country racing the last couple of years. Walker Fowler leading the way. He's actually never won at this track before. And look at him taking the wide line, carrying a ton of momentum to make sure these hill climbs are not a problem with all the rain we've had today and throughout the weekend, leading to some muddy conditions. Probably would be an awesome place to race, but it seems like every time we come here to Indiana, we are besieged by rain. It's been rough today, but we've actually seen worse at this facility. That's our old buddy Adam McGill, McGill Mafia rider working his way up. Fowler still rolling, but Bryson Neal creeping back into the picture to put some pressure on. Now, this part of the track actually looks pretty good. They will go around. We have racing taking place all day long at a Grand National cross country event. You have youth, kid racing in the morning, and then you have our amateur races after that, and then we go racing here just past 1 o'clock for our pro race, and they will take around a small bulldozer and clear some of the ruts and clear some of the rough sections away, especially in a mud race like this, just to get some of that slop off there, and that should make everything a whole lot better for these guys. Considering all the rain, it really doesn't look that bad right now. Trying to figure out if that is Neal or Fowler. Neal getting close. Fowler was completely, pretty much clean, and now they're all covered in mud, so things have changed in a hurry out there. One of the few ways you can tell these guys apart when the condition gets like this, you look at the type of handguards they're running. Got the big old elephant ear handguards on Neal. A little bit more squared off setup on Fowler. I believe this is Neal now into the lead. So a change up. Persistence paying off, kept the heat on, stayed there, and now Bryson Neal on the Land Mills XC CST tires machine running the point. Fowler going to try to work his way back around him. Good battle right now. And don't count out the rest of these guys. There's Porich still in the hunt on the number 3, the Suzuki, and don't count out the Ampro Yamaha right in front of him, Cole Richardson. Here's that big uphill again. Oh, Porich coming together with Fowler, a race to the top. Fowler just able to hold him off. Sense of urgency for sure when you get to these situations. And hooting and hollering, that was Neal. Oh, that was a wise move. He actually gave that lap rider room. He didn't want to be right behind him. At least he had enough space to take evasive action if the rider didn't make it. Hard to be that patient when you've got both Fowler, Porich, actually, and Richardson too. All three of them trying to bear down on him. And you see the machine steaming. Get the radiators all plugged up. Really got to manage equipment in days like this. Be fun to see what Neil can do in the lead. Meanwhile, battle still raging back here. Fowler, Boric, Richardson. Boric and Fowler battling to the top of that hill. Richardson just trying to make it. Jared McClure, the JMR racing machine, there as well. Wait, that's Fowler now back to the lead over Neil. I think Neil is riding without goggles. Good luck with that. And he's got to deal with pressure from Boric. Hey, rain or shine, racing is always good in the Grand National Cross Country Series. Don't count out any of these guys. Things can change in a hurry in conditions like this. Especially when the man they call the sneaky snake, Jared McClure, is lurking back there inside that top 5.
GNCC on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Specialized turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
We are back. AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Racing. It has turned out to be a pretty good battle, despite the fact that we've had such bad weather conditions today. Just to preserve these fields and make sure that people don't get stuck, we parked a lot of the campers on the road in and out. But it's a hardy bunch. GNCC Racing Nation. They've dealt with bad weather plenty of times. They know how to cope. Meanwhile, we are into the final stages of racing here, and Walker Fowler, he got past, but he gets Bryce and Neil back, and he takes the win. Career win number 49 for him. Neil, a little bummed. He was close. Same with Boric right there at the end. But the champ gets it back. First time ever a winner at the X Factor. And Mom's going to get muddy now. But her boy earned it today in the mud.
Oh, what a race, man. When the conditions are this deplorable and just you got to have a good attitude. And I told myself all week, and have a good attitude, have a good attitude. And man, those GBC tires just absolutely hooked up. Moto Expert's motor and anti-gravity batteries just took us to that whole shot. And that was huge this race. But yeah, that Yamaha out there today was just absolutely incredible. Got into the woods good, was feeling awesome, and I absolutely just clocked a tree. And my handlebars are at a 45 to the left to go straight. So I could go right, which was weird, really well, but I could not turn left. So it is what it is, man. I made the best of it. Chris Boric kicked my butt last weekend with a bent-up bike, about the same exact thing, and that's what I told myself. I was like, you know what, if Chris can do it, I can do it. So, you know, we just put our head down, got the job done. Man, it feels so good, so good.
Even losing one in a row is tough when you're on top of this game. Rocky Mountain ATV MC results: Neil, Boric, McClure, Richardson, Wolf, Merritt, Feehan, McGill, Gallagher, top 10. Neil was in the hunt today.
Yeah, you know, ever since it was, I think, Georgia, Dad and me, we went home and we're like, we're figuring out these starts. We're figuring them out. And I've just been putting myself up front. We got 2 third-place starts 2 weekends in a row. Last Camp Coker, I was actually leading halfway through the race, and I had the stomach flu under the radar, and my stomach knotted up the last 2 laps, and I didn't post anything, didn't say anything. I don't like to just be like a crybaby, but it sucked. But, you know, our whole philosophy is like, man, we're moving forward. We're getting up front, and we're staying with these guys, and we're battling in the lead, and that's what we did today. And happy to rebound after a tough weekend and come out second.
Starts have long been an Achilles heel of Neil, so it's good to see him up front. And the indomitable spirit of Chris Boric, always there in the hunt for race wins.
Yeah, we were, Bryson was leading, and I got the second, back to third, got up to the front, and it was just three-way battle, just dicing it out. But it was a good time, and then I had Bryson passed in the field, squared him up. I think he tapped me just a little bit, sent me in the mud, but it's all good. And then I couldn't, fields were just basically one single track the whole way. So we gave it all, but glad to be up on the podium, and yeah, we're here.
All right, let's give you the AMSOIL race recap of this one. Start, always critical, a little more critical today. Fowler really upped his game off the line, gets the whole shot, and he stayed clean in comparison to everyone else, at least for the first half of the race. But he did mention clocking that tree. Boric in second. You can start to see how quickly everyone else looks muddy. Riders that didn't get those starts. And this very first hill climb taught everyone also how difficult the track would be. You really had to pick your spots and just focus on sometimes making it to the top, maybe taking even wider lines instead of the best passing line just to make sure you keep the thing going. Eventually, though, Neal would get around Fowler, take over the lead. And with Boric right there as well, as Chris Board said, a great three-rider battle. Here's Neal waiting on a lap rider to make sure he doesn't get stuck behind him. Very smart. And again, a lot easier to manage a race when you're up front early, when you normally see Neal not even on the radar because of a bad start at the beginning. And there's Fowler in hot pursuit. Neal looking good, gets to the top of the hill. Some dicing between Fowler and Boric, second and third. And Cole Richardson and Jared McClure would join the party at times also. Hopping out of that rut. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it works for Fowler. Back into the lead. And puts the hammer down. He doesn't want to give these guys too much momentum. Boric got him at the last one. Fowler comes back here. Take career win number 49 in Indiana. John Penton, GNCC in Fowler's home state of Ohio is next on the schedule. There's Fowler, Neal, and Boric on the podium. X Factor, Whitetails, GNCC. Thanks for joining us. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant.